Today we're on Steel Place in Utica investigating a water main break. Sometimes we detect it with our own SCADA system, which we featured previously on Central New York Open House. Occasionally it'll just show up because somebody wakes up in the morning and has no water and they call us and report it. So we've discovered here that we have a joint leak on a water main. What we do is we send it first one of our first responders. The troubleshooter will then determine the extent of the main break and whether or not it's an emergency and needs to be repaired right away, or whether we can let it go and schedule it. Sometimes we let it go on purpose because there might be a business that's affected that we don't want to put out of water. Sometimes we don't want to interfere with the traffic flow if there's school buses. There's a number of considerations that we take into account before we actually break the ground and close the street. We also have to call it into a clearinghouse called Dig Safely New York. And Dig Safely New York requires that all the utilities in the area, whether it's gas mains, electric cables, communication cables, will come out and locate those for us and paint up the street so that we know our guys are safe. Once that's done, we know it's safe to dig. But because it's often deeper and steep, we have to then put shoring in place. Then we go down and do an investigation. At that point, we then determine what do we need to do to fix it, and do we have to in fact shut the water off. If we do have to shut the water off, we make every effort that we can to notify the customers that are going to be affected in the shutdown area. We'll go door to door. Occasionally we'll hang notices on the doors. We try to let them know approximately how long the water will be out, what they should do when the water comes back on. We're also going to unroll a new feature that people can sign up to get text messages and phone messages when the water is out. This will be helpful for people that are at work and may come home to a home at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night where there's no water. The sooner we can notify them, the better. In that situation, what people should do if they want to receive those alerts is go to our website, mvwa.us, and click on the button to sign up for water alerts. They'll then put their phone number information in, which we will not share with anybody, and then we can send them text messages and voice messages. Fortunately, with this repair, it's a joint leak, and we do not have to shut the water off, so nobody on the street will notice any difference as this main is under repair.
A customer called and noticed water coming out of the road, and after investigating, we determined there was a water main break here. We excavated and found that there was a joint on the water main leaking. This particular water main was installed in 1922, and there was bolts on the joint that were rotted. And as you can see, after 96 years, this bolt is fully decayed. So we are in the process of installing 2 new bolts and pulling the joint back together, and that should complete the repair.
In the event that the water had to be turned off to complete this repair job, pressure would go to 0. We may or may not have a boil water advisory based on other circumstances. We would certainly let our customers know. But more importantly, customers should know that when the water is reactivated, we first do some flushing through a fire hydrant to make sure we bring clean water in behind it, just in case any groundwater got in the main, we flush that out. Secondly, people should be aware that if they see discolored water coming out of their sink, that's a temporary condition because sometimes sediment gets stirred up during these kinds of situations. And what they should do is then run their cold water periodically until they see it go clear. And during that time, try to avoid using your hot water so you don't get any of that discolored water and sediment into your hot water tank or into your laundry for that matter. Our customers should know that if they're experiencing any difficulty with their water, whether it's lower pressure or any kind of discoloration, they should call us and call our customer service department at 792-0301 and we'll investigate it. It could be we're already aware of the situation and are preparing to mobilize, or it might be the first we've known about it. So don't hesitate to call whenever you see those kinds of circumstances.